Who was she? And what happened to her? These haunting questions echoed through the investigation of a tragic case that would remain unsolved for over 40 years. On September 12, 1976, the discovery of a young woman's body in a remote area of Woodlawn, Maryland, would mark the beginning of a mystery that would perplex investigators for decades. At 10:20 a.m., a passerby stumbled upon the body, partially wrapped in a white sheet, near the back gate of a cemetery on Dogwood Road. The woman's age appeared to be between 15 and 30 years old, but no one could identify her. She had been brutally assaulted, which caused internal bleeding that could be seen on her clothing, and the cause of death was determined to be strangulation, with additional obstruction caused by a grass seed bag found lodged in her throat. Forensics indicated that the victim had likely been transported to the scene after her death, leading investigators to believe that the perpetrator had made an effort to conceal her body. A Ford Econoline van, reported to have been seen near the scene an hour before the body was discovered, became a key lead in the investigation. Despite these early clues, the woman's identity remained unknown, and the case grew cold as the years passed. The victim's clothing and personal items, including a turquoise necklace, knee-high striped socks, and a pair of brass keys, would soon become the only tangible leads to the truth. Yet, the answers to this tragedy remained elusive for decades. Upon the discovery of the body, investigators began collecting crucial evidence that would later shape the investigation. The victim's clothing and the items found with her at the crime scene provided the first tangible clues about her identity and the circumstances surrounding her death. The young woman was found wearing tan yellow jeans, which contained 2 brass keys. One key appeared to be for a house, and the other, a night latch key, was attached to a safety pin in one of her pockets. These keys raise questions about her personal life and potential connections to a specific location or community. Alongside her, a distinctive turquoise stone bead necklace tied with rawhide string was discovered, marking another personal item that might help in identifying her. Her attire included a white and tan shirt, a white bra, and knee-high socks with multicolored stripes. A single moccasin, light tan, with twine laces and a rubber sole, was found near the body, believed to be worn by the victim. The presence of a single shoe suggested that something had occurred to cause her to lose the other, perhaps in a struggle or while being transported to the scene. Perhaps the most chilling evidence was the grass seed bag and bandanas found tied over her face. One bandana was orange and white, with holes cut out to fit her eyes and nose. The other bandana was blue and white. These items had been fastened behind her neck in a square knot. The bag, bearing the name Farm Bureau Association grass seed from Lexington, Massachusetts, was found over her face and lodged in her throat, obstructing her airway and contributing to her suffocation. These physical items and their unusual placement suggested a level of premeditation in the crime, which would guide investigators' search for answers. Forensic examinations provided critical details that helped shape the profile of the victim. The victim was approximately 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing between 149 and 159 pounds. Her dark brown to black wavy hair, shoulder length, and brown eyes were key identifying features. She had a dark olive complexion, and investigators also noted a widow's peak on her forehead. Dental records revealed she had 3 molars removed, with fillings in the remaining teeth, suggesting that she had access to dental care. One of her teeth was slightly crooked. These findings pointed to the possibility that the victim came from a background that was not impoverished, as such dental work would have been costly. A poorly executed tattoo, possibly initials like JP, was found on her left arm. The tattoo, along with the victim's physical features, would later suggest possible links to Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts. Additionally, she had a scar on her upper right thigh and pierced ears, providing further clues to her identity. The cause of death was confirmed to be asphyxiation, resulting from strangulation and the obstruction caused by the grass seed bag found in her throat. Toxicology results revealed a high level of chlorpromazine, a sedative, in her system, leading to the theory that she may have had a connection to a mental institution, though this remained unclear. These forensic findings, while valuable, only added to the mystery. The investigation would continue to follow these leads, but the true identity of the victim remained elusive for many years. The investigation into the young woman's death began immediately, with authorities working to uncover her identity. Despite fingerprinting and dental record comparisons, no matches were found, leaving investigators at a standstill. The case was soon dubbed Woodlawn Jane Doe, referring to the location where her body had been discovered. The physical evidence found at the crime scene, such as the grass seed bag, the brass keys, and the clothing, provided key leads. The grass seed bag, traced back to a factory in Lexington, Massachusetts, was a notable clue, and investigators considered the possibility that the victim had connections to that region. Additionally, pollen analysis from the crime scene suggested the victim had spent time in a populated area like Boston or New York, further expanding the search for clues. In 2015, investigators received a promising lead. A description of a Puerto Rican or Colombian teenager, potentially from Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts, emerged, linking the tattoo on the victim's arm to this area. However, efforts to locate her family or confirm this lead were unsuccessful. Despite these early clues, no breakthrough came in the investigation. Multiple face reconstructions and sketches were released to the public, but they yielded no significant results. The case remained unsolved, and the victim's identity continued to elude authorities. The $2,000 reward offered for information went unclaimed, and potential matches, like that of a missing teenager named Maria Mia Angiras, were ruled out. The case grew cold, with few leads left to pursue. Yet, investigators held on to the hope that one day, new evidence might resurface. In 2021, after more than 4 decades of uncertainty, the identity of Woodlawn Jane Doe was finally confirmed. On September 15, 2021, breakthrough DNA testing, conducted by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, BODE Technology, and Othram, revealed the victim's identity as 16-year-old Margaret Fetterolf from Alexandria, Virginia. Margaret had been missing since late summer 1975, a year before her body was discovered. At the time of her disappearance, her family had reported her missing, but no connection had been made between her case and the unidentified remains found in Maryland. The DNA match finally linked Margaret to the cold case, marking a significant moment in the investigation. Forensic technology, particularly DNA genealogy, had advanced over the years, enabling authorities to uncover crucial details about victims who had previously remained unidentified. This new method of solving cold cases provided closure for Margaret's family, who had long feared the worst. However, the identification did not immediately lead to the resolution of the crime. Despite identifying Margaret, investigators continued their search for the person responsible for her tragic death. While the identification answered one major question, it raised new ones, especially concerning the circumstances of her disappearance and murder. Authorities hoped this development would lead to fresh clues that could finally bring justice. Despite the identification of Margaret Fetterolf in 2021, the mystery surrounding her death remains unsolved. The case continues to be classified as an open homicide investigation, with the Baltimore County Police and the FBI still pursuing leads. While identifying the victim provided a crucial piece of the puzzle, authorities are still focused on determining the circumstances leading up to her murder and identifying the individual or individuals responsible. A $2,000 reward remains active for any information that could help solve the case. Investigators have revisited several earlier clues, including the grass seed bag and the Ford Econoline van, but so far, no breakthrough has emerged. The connection between the chlorpromazine found in Margaret's system and mental health institutions remains a focal point, but no concrete evidence has yet linked the victim or her assailant to such a facility. In the years since her body was found, authorities have utilized advancements in forensic technology, including DNA testing and facial reconstructions, to make progress in cold cases. While the case has gained attention through media coverage, including features on America's Most Wanted, the true identity of Margaret's killer remains unknown. As the investigation continues, The hope remains that new evidence or witness testimonies might eventually lead to justice for Margaret and her family. The case serves as a reminder of the power of forensic science in bringing closure to decades-old mysteries, but also of the enduring challenges faced by investigators seeking justice in unsolved cases. The case of Margaret Fetterolf, identified as the victim of an unsolved homicide for over 45 years, has left a lasting impact on her family, investigators, and the community. Though the identification brought much-needed closure for Margaret's family, the unresolved nature of the crime continues to haunt those involved in the investigation. Margaret's story stands as a testament to the power of modern forensic science, especially advancements in DNA analysis, which ultimately solved a decades-old mystery. The identification was made possible by the collaboration between the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Bode Technology, and Othram, showcasing how forensic tools and databases are transforming cold case investigations. These developments have helped bring families the long-awaited answers they deserve and have rekindled hope for other cold cases across the nation. However, the lingering question remains: who is responsible for Margaret's tragic death? Despite the identification, the investigation continues, and authorities remain determined to uncover the truth. For her family, the ongoing pursuit of justice is a way to honor her memory and find closure. For the public and law enforcement, Margaret's case underscores the importance of perseverance and technological innovation in solving even the most difficult cases. Margaret Fetterolf's legacy will continue to inspire both advancements in forensic science and the pursuit of justice for victims whose stories remain untold for far too long.